fuck on the floor, bro? Bro, no way. No way. No way! Yo! I'm done.
I'm not gonna push all the way out.
I can't.
Oh shit. You pushing them.
Yeah, I got.
Nah, that's what I was saying. Cause I knew I was gonna take all that damage.
Oh, behind us, loyal. He's dead.
Oh, he's getting fucked up. Through that high.
They're trying to push. He's dead. Behind Lloyd, behind.
Oh, what the fuck?
Yo, I'm about to did 1v3, y'all trash, bro. Yep. Hope y'all pressure me. Up one. He's dead.
Nearby rogue agent killed. Serious trauma detected. Nearby agent has gone rogue. Rogue agent neutralized. Disrupted. Rogue agent has gone rogue. Nearby agent has become. Immediate medical assistance needed. Nearby rogue agent killed.
She orders right with your bitch. Shy ain't know it don't miss. He range my shackle switch. We riding now, windows riding through your town.
What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to Azazel Gaming Room, and today we're back to do another Division 2 video. And yes, you read the title. Yes, you seen the community post, and we're here to do a clutch PvP build video. And yeah, you're looking like this dude is using clutch. You seen the clips in the beginning. I told y'all I was gonna make a clutch PvP video, but here's the funny thing: it's literally the same build that I've used in my PvE video that I posted a couple weeks ago, or should I say last week, depending on whenever you've seen this. So it's literally the same build. I just changed a couple pieces, and trust me, the build dominates. Clutch is back. You know, and I would say one thing: it takes some time to get used to the build, and it also takes some time to actually understand the build. But once you understand how to play it, and if you've been paying attention to my channel, I've been playing with this build in PvE for the last couple of months, so it's kind of not that hard. But I would say that. So let's go straight to the build. Yeah, this is what we got right here. So everything is self-explanatory. Like I said, we're really not going to spend that much time because this, like I said, I really broke this down in my last video. But this is what we got. We got Firewall Specialist. Like how I said, this is the only way for you to get health on kill without putting on 3-piece Hunter's Fury. We're not rocking that at all. You want the Firewall. This is strictly for PvP too. Backfire. You could use any SMG you want. Specifically, like I said, this is in my PvE version, so I'm just slapping that on here. But I used the Backfire, and I used a SMG or an AR with Sadist. But you're gonna see why I'm Sadist, because we got the Ridgway, but we're gonna break it down. So the reason why I'm using the Backfire, again, because it hits for 116.28k. Remind you, everything on this build too is 28 expertise, so I would tell you that as well. This build performs the best at the highest expertise, the highest armor and everything, so you need that. There's one thing I'm going to tell you: the build performs better. You could perform good without the expertise, but with the expertise you're going to feel more tankier because you got those armor, you got them armor percentages on your gear. But that's what I would say about that. So let's get back to the Backfire. So that's why this gun is hitting for 16.28k, 28 expertise, damage targets out of cover, which is the best in slot. And the reason why we're doing this is because I want to get damage. I need as much damage as I can. So you see what the talent says. Basically, dealing damage to enemy that's stacked up to 2% critical hit damage up to 100 stacks. Lasted for 10 seconds. On reload, it puts you on a 10-second bleed. You probably like, yo, why would you want to put yourself on bleed in PvP? That's the thing. When you get put on bleed with this build, especially when you're putting somebody else on bleed, you're really not like, you're not losing armor, because if I'm ADSing somebody in front of me, which most likely I am, and I put that enemy on bleed or that person on bleed, and if I put myself on bleed, and if I have on the Ridgway, like how I said, I'm getting back regeneration from that enemy I put on bleed. So technically, it's not affecting me. And that's what people don't understand about this gun. This gun, yeah, it kind of puts you on a bleed, but if you build it right, you technically won't get put on bleed, and it won't really hurt you at all. Like, and then if you rock a booster hob, there's so many ways you can rock this gun. I'm only wearing it or using it because it's different, and it really works, and it hits, as you see. So that's what comes with that. The stats, 15% critical hit chance, which is amazing. That's a big boost. 20% rounds, stability, which is cool, and 15% critical hit damage, which is big with the build, because we're getting 200% critical hit damage if we get up to the 100. You know what I'm saying? 100 stacks. So that's what we're doing with that. Sadist, again, you can pick any vector. I got a couple of vectors, you know what I'm saying? Specifically, the tactical vector is the strongest, but you could go with the tactical, you could go with the vector 45 ACP, and you could go with the SBR. I do have all of them ranked up to 28, so if you want to see the damage, it's just what you could see. This one hits for 89k, but it has the biggest mag. This one hits for 92. This is the shortest mag, and this one hits for 86. And you know, this one has like a medium type of mag, but you could also put the crit hit damage under barrel onto this as well, which you could get that. The other vectors you can't put that, but that's what we got with this. We got Sadist, basically amplifies your weapon damage 30% for enemies that's on bleed. Ain't really too special here. Crit hit damage, you know, crit chance, basically the same old. Y'all already know what it is. There ain't really nothing difference between that. So that's what we're rocking with the weapons. Now let's get to the pieces. So we got 2-piece Palisades, like I said in the previous video, for the 10% armor on kill, and you need that health. Everything on this build is health and crit damage. There's only one piece that got crit chance. Oh no, it's not. This is not this set. Yeah, everything on here is crit damage, and health, except for this Ridgway, because you really can't recalibrate it. But that's that. That's what I would say with the stats. So like I said, we went with 2-piece Palisade for the health and for the armor on kill. We went with 3-piece Seska, specifically the Devil's Due for perfect clutch. We've already been through this before. For clutch, if your armor's below 20%, you know, critical hits repair 2.5 missing armor, and it actually works better with the more reds. And that's what you see what we have. We have a total of 1, 2, 3. We have a total of 4 reds here. If I could put 5 on, yeah, clutch would be crazy, but 4 is cool because the 1.3 million armor is kind of, it suits me in PvP. You know, it's not PvE. It's in PvE I would drop the armor, but in PvP we got to go up in armor, you know. So we went with the 3-piece Seska. Like I was said, we get in critical hit chance, 20% hazard protection, and the highest health pool we get in the game is 90% health. That's it. Like I said, everything crit damage health. That's what we rocking. Boom. Now we're going to the Ridgway, the beauty of the build. So this is an exotic. If you haven't obtained this drops in the DZ. I believe it drops in the open world. If you have it as, no, if you have it unlocked, I believe how you got to unlock it, you got to go to summit. But one of my friends gave me this in the DZ, so I really don't remember how to lock this, but the information's out there. But we're here to just talk about how this works. So basically, shooting an enemy within 15 meters of plow bleed on target, you know, repair 3 to 48% of your armor, percentage of the enemy within the 15 meter bleed. So it's basically simple. The more people I put on bleed, the more regen I get. So if I drop a bleed hive, which is one of my skills, if I put 6 people on bleed or 5 people on bleed, I'm getting an insane healing on top of me putting you on bleed already from shooting you with the Ridgway, on top of all the crit damage, and then I'm clutching up as well. So I'm basically faking you to ADS me, and I'm already smacking you already. You've seen in the clips, you've seen how it was working. So That's why we're rocking the Ridgway. It gives you that extra percentage of healing, or just that healing enough to actually ADS, because you have a tanky amount of health. Okay, as you see, we got 1.1 million health because we got everything rolled on health from this. Besides this chest piece, and all the brand pieces come with 60 health, 60% health, or 90%. So you need to run that. That's it. If you want the highest health pool, you have to run these pieces. That's just how it's going to work, unless the developers randomly just give us a health boost increase, which is what they need. Actually, I've been talking about this before. They need that, but until we get that, this is how you're going to have to run this. 2 skills you're rocking with: Defender Drone, of course, to soak up the bullets to ADS more, and like what I just said with the Stinger Hive, where you put an enemy on bleed. Pistol doesn't really matter. It doesn't, I mean, I guess you could pull this out to get your bleed howler skill tier 1 to do more damage. I do got my bleed howler 26, so it do damage. As you see, PvP damage 8,212. Well, bleed damage, the PvP damage is 91. Like, that's crazy, right? And look at the bleed variation for 7 seconds. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy, bro. I got you on bleed for 7 seconds, so that's 7 seconds of me regenerating my armor. You feel me? And then look, we times it with clutch, and clutch works with more red, so we got 4 to 10. So let's go to the stats. I know y'all want to see the stats, so let's get it. So you see, we got 60% crit chance, we got 168 crit damage, right? That's 168 crit damage. And then on top of that, we have on the vector 50% crit chance and 173 crit damage. That is crazy. You know, that's a lot of damage. Like I said, everything got damage to targets out of cover, so you know the build is smacking, right? And then I believe in total, if you times this with say, what's this, look, we got some stability. If you times it up right, we should be hitting for around 368 crit damage. That specifically, you get the stacks up with that backfire, you're shredding regardless. But that's the thing, if you don't want to use the backfire, that's why I said you could just use a vector SBR with Sadis, with any gun with Sadis, like I said, AR, whatever you want, and it shreds. So yeah, y'all challenge, y'all said, you know, do a clutch. I did it. I'm showing proof. It works. I'm literally showing proof that I'm killing people with it. Sweat cans with it. I know y'all going to comment and be like, oh, you're already killing. What, you can say what you want. The proof is there in the footage. The build works, and this is definitely going to be one of my, I won't say probably my top build to play with, but it's definitely going to be one of those builds that probably like my third to second option to play with. You know what I'm saying? Because it's really fun, and it's unique to play with, and it's very fun to get these players to they see you at low armor and they try to ADS you, and you just shred them. You know what I'm saying? And that's a beautiful feeling, because that brings back nostalgia clutch days. But that'll be it for today's video. If you're new, leave a like. If you're a returner person, leave a comment. And if you're a hater, well, you see the door right there. I might catch you in a DZ, and I might use this clutch pill on you. But yeah, if you enjoy the content, make sure you would come back and return. Hopefully you have a wonderful day, exuberant day, and I'll catch y'all in my next video. It's your boy Zazel. Peace.